What's up, Luis? ¿Cómo estás, bro? Thanks for coming
Hey
on.
Arnoldo, good to see you, bro.
Yeah, man. Lots to talk about. The game last night, man, super intense. What you got? Any opening thoughts about it?
Man, that was an exciting game, dude. It felt like I was watching a Liguilla game. I don't know how you felt about it, but the intensity from both teams was there. I was looking at the stats, and both teams are super evenly matched uh, in just about every statistical category. So they were both going at it all night, and it was a quality match. I really enjoyed it.
Dude, I was talking to Oscar from the Máquina in English account on Twitter. And, we did a little preview. And that was one of the things that I suspected, like from the get go. I knew it was going to be a back and forth game. He was talking about like he plays Cruz Azul plays defensively, but I was like, Tigres, gives us so much space. So anybody that's like not, even if they're not attacking, like you're gonna have the space and the chances to possibly create some threat on goal. And I'm with you. It felt like they're legitimately the two contenders in terms of soccer and talent on the field. I think, and that midfield that they have, like I love their midfield, man. It works. It's got some craftiness too.
They've got some really quality players, and they brought in some great subs too around the 65th minute around there.
Mhm.
Romero is one of those guys that's just, top level guy, and he's going to bring in a lot of quality to Cruz Azul. So, you had on both sides tremendous talent. So it lended for a great game.
Well, the first half was like all Tigres. Like I haven't seen a game like that in a while, and maybe like you know the consistency of the wins and like finally Piojo's system being implemented the way that he wants it. Um, I've been saying that every game that I watch is now it's getting more exciting, and like everything looks like Tigres is going to be the team that's probably going to win it, even though obviously giving up that much space in the back could allow to give up goals and like maybe have games closer than they should be when we're not finishing, especially up top.
Yeah, I think that first half is a model of what we want to see moving forward from Tigres. You take away that final set piece goal from Cruz Azul to close the half, and other than that, it was practically a flawless first half.
Correct.
Tigres could have easily gone into the half up 3-0, and so that's what you want to see. They could have easily put it away if they just would have been a little smarter, but they generated a ton of chances. Vigon, Gignac, Luis Quinones, they were just killing it. And so, I think with a little more luck, Tigres would have been going into the half 3-0.
Yeah, if Gignac doesn't fall in that play, that's an easy, easy target goal that he has. Um, yeah, you talk about the players, man. One of the things that I noticed when Gignac got interviewed in La Última Palabra on Fox this week actually, he talked a lot about Vigon, man, or at least gave him a shout out for the way that he plays and how he's helped, tremendously in his game in terms of like being open and creating chances because he's so all over the field. He's a box to box guy and he's doing everything to set us up to finish plays.
The way he's linking up with Luis Quinones right now is just fabulous to see. So you have that Javier Aquino, Luis Quinones, and Vigon um, partnership, and they're killing it. So Tigres can play along the wings, or they can play down the middle with Vigon. When
Yeah.
Vigon's not around, there's really nobody there to generate anything through the middle, and so Vigon is kind of our link to be able to play up the middle because he's able to get into the 18-yard box. We're able to get crosses in. He frees up Gignac for a lot of plays because now center backs have to go and mark him, and that frees up Gignac. So I believe on the first goal, the ball went to Vigon first. He deflected it and passed it over to Gignac, which led to the first goal.
Absolutely.
And so I think he's just generating a ton of opportunities for us. And you can tell because when he leaves and Cordova comes in for him, it's just not the same.
Yeah, no, definitely can tell the difference in, and Piojo kind of mentioned and talked about it a little bit in his press conference, the different types of player and calling out Cordova, saying that he needs to apply the same intensity that Vigon has when on the field when he comes in, because he's literally the only player that he's going to sub in that position, right? I don't think, he's going to try anything different, especially with bringing Cordova in. So calling him out there and, we know that Cordova has the skill, and he participated in generating some plays. He had a shot and a couple of crosses in there, but he's still not looking comfortable on the field with what we want to do. And it's unfortunate because he's got a lot of talent, and with Bigon giving you 60 to 70 minutes of like intense, like great soccer, you need those minutes from Cordova to continue to, make the attack flow well.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with Cordova is just he doesn't get up and down the field like Bigon does. He's Bigon's like the Energizer Bunny. He's just everywhere. He's very intense, and when Cordova comes in, you just feel that he's not running as fast. He's not covering the space as well as Bigon, and so Tigres is kind of suffering because of that. On that final goal, Cordova was just kind of standing around.
Mm-hmm.
And so had Bigon been in there, there's no doubt he would have been marking somebody. And Cordova has kind of tendency to take plays off here and there, which, it causes us to suffer defensively. And so moving forward, I wouldn't mind seeing a player like David Ayala have a shot at it, because David Ayala at least shows every time he's come in that he's got that intensity that we're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, man. And speaking of player form, are you down with this starting lineup? Do you feel like this is like the 11 that Piojo is looking for, or you think he's still a player away? Because I think he's like 2 spots away from like truly finalizing his starting 11. What do you think?
I think this is the starting 11 he wants. Personally, I have issues with Diego Reyes. Sometimes his decisions are not the best for the club. He got the early yellow this last game, and that sort of caused him to play a little softer throughout the game to avoid getting that second yellow. And he's kind of done that consistently. Now he's one more yellow away from having to sit out. And so in that sense, I think, Purata or maybe Hugo Ayala have a shot at it. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but
I would like to see it.
Personally, I think Ayala, if they give him a shot, he would do well. And I don't see why you can't play Diego Reyes 60 to 70 minutes and then let Hugo Ayala finish it off. He's smart. He's a veteran who knows what needs to be done, and he still defends well.
I'm really like curious as to what happened there, because like even last season, whenever we had injuries in the back line, Hugo Ayala stepped in. And like, I know it's not expected to be Hugo Ayala when, was here in his best years early on when he first started with us, but it seems like something must have happened, and like either a conversation happened where, Hugo Ayala approached Piojo and maybe, caused some friction there, because it doesn't make sense, man, because he still was playing at a level that was enough to compete for a starting position between Purata, Diego Reyes, and Hugo Ayala there. And it seems like it's continuing this season. And that's why I was asking you if you believe this is starting 11, because I feel like that center back spot's open, but I just don't think he's giving Purata and Ayala that shot like he's giving Igor to come in and play.
Yeah, and if you remember the games that Purata played last season, he actually did well.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't stellar or anything, but he was solid. And so I think he deserved to have a shot as well as Ayala. But lately, I don't know if you've noticed, but they've been sending Purata to play with the under 20s.
Yeah.
So it's like you said, there's something fishy going on there. And personally, every time Lichnowsky comes in, the team suffers. It seems like Lichnowsky went from playing halfway decent on his first 2 games to now starting to really slump. He's very error prone, and honestly, I feel like him coming in is not benefiting us at all when he comes in.
That's why I didn't understand why we gave him that length of a contract. I was okay with a 2-year contract, just because, you allow to see if he can actually help you and contribute to the team, at least for the depth. But 4-year contract, and I know we can move him. I think that he's a player that he can be moved around in the Liga MX. But I feel like that was not even this early on, I don't think it's a good signing. So I think that spot's open. And I think that ultimately, like that spot up top with Quiñones, where he's starting right now, I think that's the other open spot that still he's trying to figure out. And Quiñones is doing well. Quiñones has been a lot more aggressive when defending and pressuring as opposed to previous seasons and, the start of the season. So I'm wondering if Soteldo earns that spot or he continues with Quiñones.
I think personally, Piojo Herrera prefers Quiñones, just because I feel like defensively, Quiñones gives you just a little extra than Soteldo. And so I think until something changes in that dynamic, I think Quiñones will continue to start. One thing that I didn't like about Piojo subs was he continues to bring in Lichnowsky to play as a central defender midfielder when I don't think that's his spot. I mean, he can do it, but you have a guy like David Ayala on the bench who can do it much better. And instead you choose to play Lichnowsky there. I think it just throws the team off. The dynamic's not there. And then things start to break apart between lines. And that's when Cruz Azul, I felt, started to kind of pin us back.
Yeah. And even like when Chaka came on, that was terrible. Like I've never seen Chaka play this bad, man. So that adjustment obviously changed some things throughout the game. Pizarro to me was super dominant, man. Pizarro was turning into a player that like I'm finally seeing like what Tuca and like Alejandro Rodriguez and Miguel Angel Garza were saying when they first signed him back in 2014 about he was an 8. He was playing Argentina as an 8, and we turned him into Tuca turned him into a 5. And then obviously back as a, sweeper, stopper, whatever you want to call it there, aiding in the back. And then now you see him like literally doing all of it. Like he's energized. He's got a high motor now. Like that setup that he has when he steals the ball in the second half and passes to Florian. Florian returns the favor in that cross. I was like, whoa, like Pizarro obviously has scored some goals for us, but he either have been like a masterpiece when he took basically the whole ball from the midfield all the way in and scored, or on corner kicks, where he's a threat in the air. But I'm seeing more of a complete player. I'm seeing better level from him than I've ever seen him, even like when he first went to Spain, to Sevilla. So
yeah, I think he found new life under Piojo's system. I think it's working out great for us because, I mean, he plays well with Angulo, and then he knows Carioca like the palm of his hand. So that coordination between those two is fantastic. And so,
and
like
now
you
it's
said,
not side to side. Now it's like
exactly
forward. It's awesome to watch now.
And he can play all three. So he can play the sweeper role, CDM, and then even attacking mid if he needs to push up. So like that's the kind of player Piojo wants, the guy that's that versatile. Just like Vigon, Vigon can do anything in between the two boxes. And so players like that, Piojo is gonna always favor.
Yeah. So man, looks like we just gotta lock in that other CB spot, man, so we can actually truly be contenders. I still have us, as a favorite to win it, but I can see how the system, because the system is that attacking and making sure that you score more goals than the opponent. So I feel like games are going to be sometimes this emotional and exciting because you're going to be attacking, but you're going to give up space in the back. So you either have to go up first and create a big lead and not miss chances, because chances are going to be created, and we just have to make sure that they get finished so we can actually lock in a potential championship.
I'm super confident because every error that we've made is completely fixable. It's mostly mental concentration and just lack of intensity, which is you can fix. The talent's there. If they just watch film, fix the errors, it's there for us. What is it? 3 out of the last 4 goals came on set pieces. So you fix set pieces, that's going to fix a big chunk of your problem. And so I think there's a lot to be confident about, especially when our front 3 are just, killing it. Gignac is back to being the old Gignac of 2015, and he's lethal again in the box. So, I mean, I'm really confident with the way we're playing.
And he's in my opinion, in the best shape of his life. He's running more than he's ever ran in his career. So that's great. And then last question I have for you, my friend, Nico Lopez, where's he at?
He should have played. He should have played last night. I don't know if you've noticed, but as soon as they pulled Flo out, it wasn't the same. So they brought in Carlos Gonzalez, but we needed presence on the wing, which would have been Nico. That would have been Nico's job.
I agree.
And I think it would have been lethal for Cruz Azul because they were committed to the attack. And at that point, they were giving us space behind. So they kind of flipped it on us in the second half a little bit, especially towards the end of the game, where they were pinning us back. We were in a low block and we had space in behind them. And I think if Nico would have been there, we would have scored the third goal that would have given us the victory.
I completely agree with you. I think that should have been the stuff, especially with the way the game was going. Like, you can't bring in a guy that's only going to help you retain the ball or like when you aerial balls, when you have so much space with Soteldo, Gignac, and Nico up top. Like, you would have opened up the field and probably ran up the scoreboard. So I'm totally with you. That's probably the things that, Piojo is going to have to look at, like really look at what player benefits him the most in the instances of the game and managing of the game.
I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm not a big fan of the double substitution. So he likes to do, let's pull Vigon, let's pull Tovan and bring in Lichnowsky and Carlos Gonzalez. I feel like that's not quite working out. I think one thing we complained about Tuca is that he never made any subs. And Piojo has kind of gone the other way on us, where he's subbing too much too quickly, and it's messing up the coordination of the team there.
And hear me out. I think that doesn't really come from him totally. I think that comes from the investment that they made with sports science and like player rehabilitation and stuff.
So it's a big data issue. It's
I think
data science thing.
It has to be a dude. Like, I mean, when did you see like Piojo has been known to like make a lot like subs and like re-inject energy into his team, but now with the rule change, I just feel like it's planned. Like, it's definitely looked at and definitely analyzed behind the scenes.
I hadn't thought about it, but it makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah. So, well, hey man, I know you got to go. Thank you so much for everything that you do on Twitter. Thanks for helping me out through this journey, through this project, through this adventure, and hopefully, again, we bring more awareness and growth to our beloved team.
It's a pleasure, Arnoldo. Good always talking to you. And we got a big test next game against Pachuca, so looking forward to that.
Huge test. All right, my friend. Take care. Thanks for everything.
We'll see you.